My people. All right. How's everyone doing tonight? Uh, I hope everyone had like a blessed week. But my week has been sort of. Uh, I'm not going to rant and rave uh, during this video. Um, Sometimes I even got to check myself, so I know I come on here and fuss and sometimes cuss and stuff like that, there, man. But sometimes it's not the. I guess probably the best way to put it. You don't want to. You want to put out a positive message, but sometimes it actually goes in a negative direction. Sometimes you think you're protecting or you're educating, but you're really harming. And I might have had on a one or two conversations with my mother, man, but sometimes I think about going back in the race and pulling fouls and erase this and erase that. But no, I'm not doing videos like that anymore because I think I told you once. Uh, this channel, my channel, the Son of James, is more for educational purposes. And the reason why I do what I do. So now you know the title. Why I do what I do, part two. Um, it's nothing about nobody else. It's all about me. So the next, well, this series that I'm working on will be about me and why I think the way I think and why I have become so negative and why I decided that it's my job. I still will, I still, I still will rant and rave. But I made a promise to myself to actually reveal why I say the things I say. Not because of the news coverage, because what you see is true. They only report. I talk about the condition of the convict or the inmate or the victim and how you should respond to that as a man or a woman. I just don't come over here and say 30 people got killed in Philadelphia last month, 100 people. Anybody could do that. That's what the news agencies are for. I talk because I want to educate you. The young man and the young woman, do not waste your life. You got to believe in yourself and think and say, you know what? I want to make changes. And that's how this channel started. Because actually, you know, I haven't been on social media at all. Matter of fact, I think I just joined social media, including Facebook, within the last year. It's just not my thing. And if you go on my Facebook channel, my name is Juan Bess, by the way. JUANBESS. So I don't want no excuses about people saying, well, we don't never see you. How we know that? Man, let's not even go there. I have a Twitter account, a Facebook account, I have an Instagram account. But I don't like social media at all. I just don't. And one of the reasons why is because when I finally logged on to it, it was just to reconnect with old friends, old loved ones, high school sweethearts, all that stuff. Because you get to wonder, about your past and how things may have turned out, and that's part of the lesson this evening. So I'm not going. As somebody told me once that, man, you talk too doggone much. He- When you go listen, no, we're not going to do that because I make with this series, I'm gonna expose a little bit about myself. Because people are like, why are you saying some of the things you say? It's been a lot of people who have posted positive messages, so it's not always been all negative. People do leave comments, but I get irritated. Like I said before in one of my videos, one or two individuals will pop up there, and you think you're doing something positive, but actually you might be agitating someone. And you know the reason why you agitating? Because 9% of the time you're telling the truth, and you're exposing something not just about yourself, but about them. But tonight we're not even gonna go there. I'm gonna talk about me and my concepts, my beliefs, and I'm gonna try not to go on and on about it. If you watch any of the previous 5 videos, I start breaking towards that. So I just don't want to come over here and talk about cutting everybody down, brothers, and men shouldn't do this. You all that stuff you should already know. You understand? Because we have lived our lives. But my only purpose for ever joining social media was to reconnect with people. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But whenever I think that I'm not making a positive contribution, I back off of it. And like I said, people, man, you ain't got no. I've been looking for you forever. People say that all the time. It's just not my thing. And believe it or not, I have. And this part is, may or may not be funny, but people don't believe it. I still got my first cell phone. This phone I got is a flip phone. You see what I'm saying? So I'm old school in that regard. I don't like to change, just like I don't like to change in some of our brothers. But I had a revealing conversation with my mom just the other day because I haven't been on. I just uploaded videos. But my mama is the only woman in the world that make me feel like I'm 12 years old. But that's our connection, you know. And I love her to death. I mean, I don't always say that. I just, you know, I haven't always shown to her the respect that she needs. But the bottom line is, we're gonna talk about why and where that anger that I have in my heart comes from. But it has nothing to do with the black man. Nothing at all. It has something to do with JUAN. Me, Juan. Nobody else. So it'll give you an insight. So when I do come on to correct, I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about myself too. It's all about being a man and coming to terms with the decision that you've made. But if you don't want to do that and you don't want to look at yourself, I mean, I'm talking to you and I'm also talking to myself. If you don't want to look at none of your faults and your failures, your growth is a failure. You have stopped growing. And I made a comment some time ago. I said, you know what? Some of the guys I talk to, you'd be so glad to see them. But when they start talking, they talking about stuff that happened 20 and 30 years ago. That means you see what I'm saying? That means your mind is still stuck. There's no growth. You see what I'm saying? And when they talk like they have no faults or no failures. Man, be real about where you at in life. And so now we're gonna jump on to me. I I'm a mama's boy. Let's put that out there. But I would say this here. My mama deserves more than she's been getting. And that's real. She's the only black woman I know that has created a business without revealing too much, that has created a business that took care of the entire family. Everybody came and worked for my mama at one point, time or another. Wasn't always the best situation. But I'm only thinking about that now. I don't even appreciate it until now. And it's like I wasted so much time fighting with her and not encouraging her. She deserved way more than she's been getting. And the heartbreak comes in the fact that I can go all the way back, like we just talking about going back. My father is no longer alive, but his words ring true today. I need you to do one thing for me. And it's not like it was a death sentence. I mean, we talking about years before he even passed. I was a kid, but he gave me directions. And sometimes it feels like, you know, that I might have failed in what he was telling me to do. I can't say that man, knew what was coming. I never spent that much time with him, but he always came home to Lamar, South Carolina, to see me. He never forgot it. He never forgot the fact that he had a son and a daughter. But my mom and my father's relationship, it is what it is. I don't understand all of it, but you know what she never did? She never stopped me from seeing him. He always made a way to come into town and come home to see us. Can't hate that. They might not worked out. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't stop him from being my father. So I made a comment. Uh, I don't even know which video it is. I made a comment about the directions of my father, and I'm gonna tell you what it tell me in a minute. But I can't stop loving one or be mad at one. They were both there. Now, I wish I would have had more time with my father, but that conversation was heavy, and I was no more than 7 or 8. Not even that, I don't think. And I don't know why he felt the need to tell me that. But in my heart, he looked at me, pulled his shades off. Oh, in my mind, oh boy. But that's one. I'm gonna explain it to you why I'm angry or why it seems like I'm not always angry. It's the fact that sometimes when I think about what that man told me, the last, oh boy, he took his shades off. I'm trying. Just give me a minute. He took his shades off and he looked at me. He was taking me to a baseball game. My mind was on baseball, but I don't think he knew. Uh, there's no way nobody could have been that prophetic. But before we even got up to the gate where you go in, and this is in this is in the country, so everybody was playing out there in the field. You know how country folks are. But man, he took his shades off and he knelt down and looked at me. He said, "Son, I want you to listen. Look me in my face, eye to eye. I need you to do one thing. You take care of your mama and your sister." I can't get out of my mind, but it always breaks me. That's the last instructions I got. You know, that's the last instructions I got. That's why I was saying what I said earlier about my mom. You know, and I never told her. Talk to her today. I ain't tell her. But for some reason, that's been creeping back up on me because I felt like I failed them. And just think, that's where part of the rage comes from. Is because I felt like I had failed in my responsibilities to him. And that's the man that gave me life. No, he wasn't always there, but he was a man's man. So as a 5, 6, 7-year old kid, not even a teenager, when my father would walk out his my granddaddy's house, my granddad would say something to him, and whenever I was around them two, my granddad and my father, man, they used to, forgive me, granddad. He's passed on too. Just my granddad, my father's father. I just lost him a couple of years back. Uh, but I felt the connection. I used to go on truck hauls with my granddad. When I was in the summer, and he used to try to tell me about my father and the way things went. He didn't want me to forget about it. And I look at my granddad. I told him, "You don't have to worry about that." That's why I'm crying now. I don't forget nothing like that. You know, I could care less about what somebody's saying. Yeah, man. But let me tell you something. It's powerful. I know. Look, I know my mother loves me, but that hurts. And the reason why it hurts, when I lost them, I blame everybody. You know, I blame everybody. And I took it out on my mom. I stayed on the run, which some of y'all know. I had I'm talking about my family. I ain't, really shouldn't have said that, but at the same time, I can't come on here and cut down everybody else. And I can't come in here and tell you about why I think the way I think without being honest. So if I'm gonna get on social media, it's gonna be for a change. Yeah, I come on here, rant, rate, and still gonna do it. But all I'm doing right now is explaining to you the reason why I feel what I feel, especially about young black men. It's because of my father. Wasn't the greatest father in the world. I ain't gonna lie. But what I go back whenever I need inspiration is that talk. And we only had one of them. And guess what? When I got ready to return to Columbia with my mom come down with all my aunts or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about them. The family stayed together. You know, they were sisters. My mama, my aunt May. You know what I'm saying? My aunt Aretha is like sisters, and you worked as a family and did everything together, and you love one another, the good and the bad. But anytime I need inspiration, I go back to that conversation I had with my father. And what hurts me and why I get mad is when I see a story where a young man abandons his woman or beats his woman. Now you understand why I'm angry. I ain't got to try to explain it. Now you understand why I say what I say. Because it's like it becomes my responsibility. That responsibility ties into what I just told you. It all goes together. And you have good brothers out there doing great things. But this is the reason why. Those instructions from our father. And I'm not the only one that has failed. But we talking about me tonight. I'm telling you the reason why I got to finish my job. Because I believe in God and I do not want to see my dad and have to explain to him, or even if it's like that, why I failed. I can't look him in the eye and explain to him what kind of shoes you gonna make now. I gave you one thing to do, and it hurts. It hurts like I just heard it 5 seconds ago. No man has ever rocked me with a few second conversation like my father. Hits every time. So I'm not apologizing, but that's why I had to turn it off. And that's why I had to play the audio. And what y'all see me crying, I'd never be able to live that down. And people always say, man, damn, I've been with you all day. Why you quiet? That's on my mind. I remember going out on a date and not talking for 3 hours. It was stuff like that. It's because of that conversation. I want something good for everybody. So now you see why I try to run into social media and try to play the hero. It's because we have fallen, but it's the instructions from my father. You know, that's what drives me. James Best Jr. My last instructions from my father. Because when I saw him on his deathbed, I didn't even try to look for the reasons why. I didn't try to understand. But guess what? He didn't say nothing to me. He just looked at me. He had his hands down. He was to me, this the part of this. He was a shell of himself. But on his deathbed, out of that curtain, I could just see it. And I remember standing, not wanting to leave out. So I looked my mama in the face when she closed the curtain. I don't, wasn't bitter. I can't say it was beautiful because I didn't hear it. And she didn't have to tell me that. I know what I saw. Because, like I told you a few seconds ago, a few minutes ago, he was withering away. He didn't have to say anything. Nothing changes. Last conversation, still present today. Still affects me today. Because guess what? He had enough energy to raise one hand and point that finger at me and shake it. You know, like, remember what I told you? It's the last time I saw him alive. Uh, and then my sister, it broke her. That's part of the reason. That's where the anger comes from. And you know why I say that? I don't try to run around and play hero. It's there. It's on the inside. I spent a lot of years being angry because that's the one man I didn't want to lose. But it wasn't nothing I could do to stop it. And no mom won't look at their child like, I don't bring it up. I never asked about that closed curtain interview. That's between them. But she made peace with that. But it broke my sister, especially when it came time to the funeral. And my father was in the military. I ain't talk this stuff I'm telling you that I'm actually putting out on social media, Facebook, maybe on my YouTube channel. So I just got on here and figured I would come and tell you why. You know what I'm saying? But I know my father wouldn't approve of that doggone profanity, and my mama didn't. Yeah, yeah. But the other day, she made me feel well. Today was yesterday. I've been on the phone with her for like the last 3 days, but she's the only one that can make me feel 12 years old. But you know what it takes me back? To the last moments with my father as a teenager. And it's like all that time I spent being angry after that, when he was gone, you know what I'm saying? I didn't respect his wishes. I was pissed off. So I blame everybody. I blame my mama. I blame everybody who's around. I blame my family. I blame his side of the family because something was so precious. It was taken away from me. And it's like now I'm trying to step up and be a hero, and I'm a teenager. So of course, when things don't go my way, what you do? You get mad at the world like it's their responsibility. You get mad at the white man. You get mad at the teacher. You get mad at the police. And all that is fear. This is why I'm so angry. And I shouldn't be like that. But now you get a touch of the reason why I feel the way I feel. And because, you know, sometimes I feel like I failed my dad. Probably not the best thing to put on YouTube, but like I told you, let's be real. We men, let's be real. Act like you have some responsibilities. Take care of your responsibility, you know. But people, my mom and dad didn't stay together when they had two beautiful kids. And yeah, I call myself beautiful. Yeah, Muhammad Ali did it. I could do it. But this is the reason why. Because I felt like I owned, you know, my granddad, you know, all the times I got arrested, you know, all the stuff like that on the run, just clowning. Sometimes I be laughing with my friends and I could see my father's face. They say, Warren, where you going, man? Man, hey, I can't do no more. Where you going? What you doing? I'm going home, man. And I knew why they would, they be like, damn, he always, the powder pooper. Because I get depressed when I drink. I can't hold my alcohol anyway. But it always come to that. It always came to that. I felt like I had failed my mom. I couldn't stop my father from getting sick. I had nothing. I ain't got that much power. So there's nothing wrong with feeling like you're responsible for everybody. But when you fail, it's even tougher to come back from that. But I told you, I made a decision that I didn't want to die like that. Because in my heart, I know I'm gonna see him again. And what kind of answer will I have for him? So you don't have to be a believer or not. I am. Don't act like it all the time. But I feel like, I failed them. So I get mad at people because it's like that cycle plays over again. And you ever want to see me cry? It's not. I don't even have to see that. It's the image is mine. Nobody can take that away from me. Whenever I want to get inspired, but this part is funny. I cried after every episode. Believe it or not, at the end of every episode of The Incredible Hulk, what you see him doing? If you don't know, and I'm talking about the TV series, at the end of every episode, David Banner will be walking down a long hallway by himself. It was so powerful because that's what my father did. He had his drink or whatever. I used to watch my father walk out my granddad's house. I look at him and I didn't stop because he would keep walking. I don't know why he be go straight, but this is the country. I used to watch my father walk until he disappeared over the hill to where I couldn't see him no more. That was it. And I used to tell people in my family, man, I'm gonna do this here for my mom. When you kids, you dream like that, but when you fail, reality check. So I go back to my original point. That's why I felt like, you know, sometimes it's not all the time, but I could, my mama deserved way more than she been getting. You know, I could have done a whole lot more. So I spent my teenage years cutting the food because he was gone. And everybody else saw that. Everybody else could see it. I was mad at the world because my dad was gone. But here comes the best part. There's another guy who loved my mom just as much as my father did. I didn't show that man enough respect. He didn't deserve the stuff I was saying to him either. Eddie Green Jr., that everybody know in Columbus, South Carolina. I don't think there's no way you can go and not know hear about him. A good man, taking care of a boy and a girl that he did not father, treating me like a son. Guess what? And this is what gonna hit you. Eddie Green Jr., that everybody know as Mutt Jr., died 3 days. I think it's trying to figure out which one died first. My granddaddy, my father's father, and Eddie Green Jr., that everybody knows as Mutt Jr., died 3 days apart. The two most important men in my family, who I call my stepfather. I don't know why one time I thought him and my mom was married, but I figured that out quite quick that they weren't. You know, and nobody's clean. He wasn't clean. Nobody's clean. All us dirty. But we have our reasons why. And this man, guess what? Loved me like I was his own son. Choked me out like I was his own son. It's that love. And he deserved way more respect than what he been getting. That's where the anger comes from. That's part of it. My responsibility to everybody else. Trying to play the hero. Don't want nothing to go wrong. But what disappoints me is I wasted a lot of years drinking alcohol, doing cocaine, you know what I'm saying? Blaming everybody else, blaming the white man, you know what I'm saying? Becoming a 5%er, joining the nation, anything to be angry. So nobody could understand what the truth was. And now you got it. Everybody knew I was on drugs, you know, up until my late 20s. But I fought back. And then sometimes in some of my videos, you hear me say these words or stuff like, okay, well, I can't go out like that. I can't return to my father, my stepfather, my grandfather, my other grandfather, James Docker. They all deserve way more from me than what the hell they been getting. I wasted too much time throwing my life away, going to jail, blaming everybody else about my bull. It's everybody else's fault because I didn't want to obey them instructions. The last words of my father. Now everybody else had to pay because he was grown. It got nothing to do with the instruction. I still didn't complete the instruction, but I'm not dead yet. And as a man, and as the son of James, that's why I named my channel like that. As the son of James, I'm not going out like that. I'm not returning to the failure part of my life. I grew up. I accepted responsibilities, took on the challenge. You know, I'm not a father myself, but every time I see my niece and my nephew, my sister kids, I look at them. So if anybody in my family deserves to hold the trophy, it's either my mom or my sister. And I never had no kind of excuse to not call them when I needed something. It's always been there. And my mama didn't deserve all that stuff, man. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. And I was a pissed off young man blaming everybody else about my doggone problem. Join a different religion. Any excuse not to do what my father told me to do. But now that I'm clean and sober, got me a little bit of help from Narcotics Anonymous, the best program I know. I had so many chips, man, and the chips are real thin. I call them poker chips. I kept coming back and getting that doggone white chip. I had a damn dresser drawer full of it. Mama said, "What is all these things you don't want to know? You don't want to know just for the day. I'm not gonna tell you." No, no. But the best part about life is you have to find a reason to keep fighting. Find a reason to keep fighting. And I finally told that man who I know was Pops, Eddie Green Jr., I love you, man. So to all the men in my family, that includes all my uncles, all on my father's side, Uncle Johnny, you know what I'm saying? I lost a couple more uncles. Man, you know, I lost so many men in my family, man, you know. But you know who I respect? Their sons and my cousin, Gregory Pettigrew, JJ, Lil John, all these people on my mom's side of the family, for my father's side of the family. Because Sean, Gonzo, Tony Man, these are who I respect. And you know why I respect so much? Because they not quitters. They men. And I took everybody through hell, blaming them. Oh, y'all think y'all better than me. No, they just listened to their mom and their father and did the right damn thing. That's not their responsibility about me being angry because my father was gone. It's not Gonzo's fault. That's not Sean's fault. That's not Tony Man's fault. And as soon as I got over better, I mean, I could have been doing a whole lot more for my mother. Always trying to take the easy route. It's got to be somebody else's fault. No, it was Warren Best's fault. Nobody else. That's why I say the things I say. It's not really to cut nobody down. It's because I felt like I had failed my father, my pops, James Bassoon, my grandfather, James Doctor, all my uncles on both sides, just so many I can't name. And I hope nobody don't get mad that they been left out. Ain't nobody been left out there. Y'all should not feel bad about trying to save my life. People coming from way out of town to hide me from the police, always on the run, breaking their backs, begging and pleading for me to get my act together. Now you know why I'm so passionate. That's why I say from now on to the day I die, I'm not trying to play the hero. I'm doing what my father told me to do. Yeah, he's gone, but I still got my mama. And the best part about that is accepting the fact you're still here. Just do what I tell you to do, and everything works itself out. So to my mom, and I apologize for making your life so hard. To my sister, you the best thing that happened to this family. To my nephews, to my niece, love you more than anything. I just don't say it all the time, but now you understand why. To all the brothers who think that I'm not gonna cut you down, now you know I got to get you. I got to get you because of my father, a real man. I got to stay on you. Love you. Peace.